If you hadn't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Welcome back to part 2 of voting, and we're about to jump back into the conversation. These people that we can be like, you know what, they down for us 50 grand, they ready to run the whole gamut with us.
You know what they say? You ever heard that old additive of
If you can't beat them, join them.
No, the old one of when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
We had that with Martin Luther King Jr. We had that with Malcolm X. We had that with Elijah Muhammad. We had that with Marcus Garvey. We had that with Harriet Tubman. We had that with so many others.
So let me ask you this, right? Native Americans or Indians, however you want to, address them. Mm-hmm. When's the last time you saw two of them walk down the street together?
In my area, I don't recall when.
Yeah.
I've seen, well, where I work, I know there's quite a few Native Americans in there. I see them communicate with each other, but as far as seeing 2 or 3 of them walk down the street with my own eyes, I can't say when.
All right. So I say that to say this. When was the last time you saw us walk down the street together?
Damn near
we're
every
everywhere.
Day.
We're damn near everywhere, right?
Yeah,
so
we are.
It don't take tons of people. It just takes a few people. Like in the city, I take that back. In the state of Georgia, there was a group of
I know what you're talking about.
Indigenous people.
Mm-hmm.
They bought so many hundreds of land, and they decided they want to start their own town, their own city.
Mm-hmm.
It's a start. It may not be what you want it to be, but it's a start.
But I've listened to several interviews about that. And here's the problem.
All right.
Yes, it's a start. It's a great start. It's a great thing. It's a phenomenal thing. I love it. And I've been in conversations with people 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago who have said the same thing. The one thing that I never took into account until that story popped up and I've heard interviews about it is you can't have a completely Black city. For one, they're not going to be able to have their own police department. So whatever police departments or whatever state troopers or whatever are around that area can come in there, come and go as they please, because that is still property of that state. The other thing is you can't exclude white people because you'll have lawsuits. And how can you get around a discrimination lawsuit? If you say, hey, this is a Black city, nobody but Blacks can come in, now you're facing a lawsuit.
My answer to that is you don't keep them out. Why would you want to keep them out?
Not saying that you would want to, but when I think of a Black city, I'm thinking, you know what? This is going to be ours. That's my, I would say, immature thought, so to speak. Because, hey, what the hell? The Jews, they have all this big area. The Mexicans have this big area. Puerto Ricans have this, and it's like, but it's contained within something and and that's how they roll. But when you look at us, we're not going to want to say, "Hey, okay, well, we're okay with Susie and Jim coming in and uh Resnick and Mariska coming in too. We want a completely black thing. That's what we want, but we're not going to get that."
But that's the thing. Like when you say the Chinese community, the Mexican community, the Hispanic community, the Italian community, they stick together though. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like they grew up with that mentality of let's stick together. They aren't asking anyone to stay out, but they aren't asking anyone to come in. And that's how we need to be. We aren't asking you to stay out, but we aren't asking you to come in either. If you want to come in, fine, so be it. But just recognize when you look around, it's the same as you closing your eyes. Nigga, you gonna see black. You dig? That's all you see is black. So if you feel comfortable with that, then ride with it, homie. Do your thing. It's not for us to make you feel uncomfortable, but just know we are us and you are you. You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying, but I think the bigger thing with that is, and this is probably more of a personal gripe with me.
Right.
For us to build something like that, we have to have people in there who are not prone to be drug users and abusers. Don't have uh, uh, have a criminal mentality. We have to have people in there who take pride in owning something that's ours, and we also have to have people in there who are willing to expand and continue to build generational wealth, which would turn into uh, black wealth, so to speak, like Tulsa and all that other stuff. And
I agree.
when I look at all of the black cities that we're concentrated in,
Right.
we can't even get it right there. So like when I look at when I like I turned on the news the other morning in Baltimore, it was like 3, 4 people got shot. And I'm like, at what point do we stop this nonsense as a group, as a people, stick together and elevate? Because the more that people out there, drugs, crime, shooting each other, this, that, and the other, and in certain situations, not voting, not holding politicians accountable, or at the very least, promoting more blacks to run for public office, we're never going to get anywhere. Because the problem that one of the biggest problems that I see with politics, to jump back into that, is
Right.
there's not a lot of us in there. And the, with it not being a lot of us in there, them jokers can't speak for us. None of them can really speak for us. So if we're not voting, or if we're not encouraging us to get in there and win these races and take these spots, we are never going to elevate. It's cool that the people in Georgia, hey, let's buy up all this land, let's build on this. That's cool. But we need people, hey, I need you to go to the polls and vote. You know what? Hey, I need you to run for office, because if we get you in there and you have our best interests at heart, because you know what we need, we have a better chance. We have a bigger dog in the fight. We have a bigger place at the table. But because we're not doing these things, we're handicapped, period.
I definitely agree with you when you say uh, we need someone that we select in there.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, i.e., it's going to take more than us just picking someone out of our community and saying, you know what, we like you. You're a good person. We want you to run. If that's what you want, if that's who you want in that position, then that means you got to put everything that you got behind that person, meaning,
Exactly.
i.e., your dollars, your time, your effort, making sure that that person that you do select to go into that position, you out there going just as hard for that person to get in as they are to get in. Meaning, i.e., if they say, hey, I need some signs on Fifth Street, I got you. Fifth Street it is. Is that the only street? That's the type of mentality we need. But again, I think that we're just not there. And the sad part about it is we were once there, but we're not there anymore. Can we get back there? I don't know. I don't know. I would have wanted, my spirit says yes. But my eyes that see this world, no. I just don't see.
But what do you think
But
what do you think got us from there? Because
I think there
for a
were
hot minute,
so
we
many
was
things.
on the path.
You were, because when you look back at Black Wall Street, right? And I'm sure you've heard of Black Wall Street. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Because it wasn't the only one that we had. It was a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, you're right. So that goes to show you what we are capable of. Our history and uh, everything that goes along with that. I mean, in Black Wall Street, I think $1 in that community circulated like, was it? It's a number of days. I want to say. I want to say it was maybe like 12 days or so. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, and I apologize to anyone that I may offend with my wrong information. But again, it went through that community, that number.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for part 3 of We Voting.